Welcome to Worth It or Waste of Time. Today we are reviewing Greenland to Migration. I'm going to give a quick and easy synopsis here without giving any spoilers. This is set 5 years after the world-ending meteor hits Earth. And this family goes to Greenland for a safe bunker. And this is 5 years after. And the conditions at that bunker are getting worse. There are earthquakes, lava pools, really bad thunderstorms. So they have to migrate to France, where this giant meteor hit, because the scientist says that there might be a chance of thriving life there. So it's just the journey of the family going through each area, different disasters,
trying to get to this crater.
Yeah, crater.
To be clear, at the beginning of the movie, they're planning on staying in this bunker in Greenland, but again, things start to deteriorate, as he says, and they're forced to leave. Because they have to leave, they can't stay in Greenland, they have to go to where they think a place that will support life.
Isn't it France?
I think it was France, yeah.
Yeah.
So they go to France.
Okay. What we liked.
What we liked. You go first.
No, you go first. By our, why we're so held back by our likes, we'll probably give you an idea of what we think of this movie.
I thought that the special effects worked in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the setting, especially, like when they get to England, so they do make their way across the ocean. They get to England, and it's really cool when they're, sailing into these basically water-covered skyscrapers.
Yeah.
And making
so they're
their
like
way through,
floating on top of
That's
them.
pretty cool. I like that. Again, it's the post-apocalyptic setting. I mentioned this in I Am Legend, but I like that setting. It's cool.
It is.
So yeah, that's part of what I liked about it. What else? The soundtrack was okay. Like I wasn't particularly memorable, but
I liked the soundtrack.
Yeah, you did.
I liked the soundtrack. It felt very interstellar-y.
Okay.
I liked it. I like the soundtrack.
What else did you like about it?
Like you said, it's a post-apocalyptic setting, and the setting is really good. Like where they are in the final scene. I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but it looks really good. Yeah, it looks good. Everything just visually looks good. It's 2026, so modern stuff.
Okay.
What we didn't like. So this movie was extremely predictable. On IMDb, it has a bad engagement level, bad pacing, bad plausibility, bad predictable plot, and bad writing, which I agree with. It's not a very well written movie. It's very random. It does not flow. It does not blend, and the connection between the characters is just it's not good. And the kid, what's the kid's name? Nathan. In the first movie, he had what was it?
Diabetes.
Diabetes.
Did he have diabetes? I thought it was. He had to have insulin, so
Yeah.
I assumed it was diabetes.
Yeah, diabetes. And at the beginning of the movie, they say grab your insulin and stuff, but it wasn't really a big part of it. And
Did they even mention it after that?
No, they didn't. And it's like it should still be a big part. And the father, he's been exposed to all the radiation, so that's replaces that. But we were watching it, and Nathan ate a cookie, and we noticed it, and he saw it, and we were like, oh no, that's not good. But nothing happened, and I thought that's the perfect moment for you to do something. They could have. It might have been a little higher if they just did that, but nope. He ate a cookie and he was completely fine. It was really sugary, so like that. It had to contribute to his diabetes in some way, but
it's just it was they showed it to a point where like, oh, this is going to come back, and it didn't. That was my issue with the movie. My biggest issue with the movie, like the first Greenland movie had it's a disaster movie.
I love
the plot is not super complex, right? But I think it worked in the first movie. In this one, it was a cash grab. It's what it seemed like. I mean, it was.
They didn't even get that much cash.
I'm sure they didn't. It was released
50.
Was it released in theaters? I don't even remember.
It was. They only made.
I don't even remember. But the way that this movie was written was so choppy. Like, it wasn't... It just didn't... it's almost like they sat in a room and they said, okay, we're going to have this family migrate to a new land to go to this crater. That was the premise of the story. They're going to this crater, right, where they think that there's going to be life. They said, okay, they're going to go to this crater. What happens first? Okay, what happens next? You know, and it wasn't like a well-written story. It was like, okay, well, they're going to run into a group of people that want to kill them. Okay, now they're going to go into this family, this lady that they knew, which that was another thing that I didn't like at all. The people in the world seemed fine. You know, the whole first movie, the big premise of the movie was they have to get into
World
this bunker
ending. Nobody's gonna live.
That no one's gonna survive, and unless you're in this bunker in Greenland, you will all die. You know, and they touched on there was a big group of, you know, large percentage of the world did die, but there were still tons of people just living like in squalor, in like terrible living conditions. Don't get me wrong. But they were still living, right? And they, at one point, they go to this lady that they knew. She lives in England, and we're like, let's go see if she's there. And she's there in her house where she was before. Granted, it wasn't a house; it was like a hospital. But they have like a generator, and they have food, and they're just like, we're just gonna kick back and relax for a few days until we got to keep going. You know, they're like, that's gonna be the next thing. What's gonna happen after that? Well, let's have them keep going. And what if they have to cross this big ravine? You know, there's this huge ravine from the earthquakes. Then what? Oh, and they have to cross it, and there's a ladder that almost falls. That's so good, you know? And it's like the way the writing is so infantile. It's just, it doesn't work. It was so choppy and so out of the blue that it didn't create a cohesive story, in my opinion.
Going back to how much they made, how much they made in U.S. and Canada was only $17 million. How much they made worldwide was $44 million. That is really bad, and they spent $90 million on the movie.
Man, that's bad. That's not good.
That
at
is
all.
really bad.
That
honestly,
is definitely bad.
I was thinking of seeing it in theaters, and I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So let's get into category breakdown for this then.
Acting, not good. It was.
You know, Gerard Butler's not a bad actor at all. I don't think he had a lot to work with in this one. I don't think he had any chemistry whatsoever with the main actress, his wife, like at all. Like I didn't buy their relationship. And then everybody else in the movie that was in it, they didn't blow me away. So I'm not a huge fan of the acting either.
Like there's this one guy that they met, and he went back to his car when like a meteor strike was happening, and he risked his life to go save his car, and he risked his life and he didn't make it. So
I don't even remember that. Honestly. That's how
like he went to go get it.
Things are.
He's like, it's the only thing I have, and like a meteor blows into him, and oh my goodness, and like I feel like the worst actor was definitely the son.
Yeah,
I feel like he just didn't seem ready for
I don't know
for it. So
and I don't blame the actors very much. I blame the writing on this one. Let's get into soundtrack. We mentioned it a little bit. You really liked it. I don't remember it much. So
you should listen to the soundtrack.
I'll try listening to it. It doesn't stick out to me at this point.
Yeah.
Visuals were okay.
They're good.
I had no problems with the visuals. It was well made visually.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the best part of it, probably. Best part of the movie was the visuals.
Story, not good.
That was the
weakest part of the whole movie.
So bad. Like, ugh. Yeah, because it's, and again, after the first movie, it's like, where do we go from here? You have to write a story, but you need to get writers that know what they're doing as far as an arc goes.
The writers were Mitchell LaFortune and Chris Sparling.
Anyway,
what else did they do?
All right, so let's give our scores for this one. I went first last time, so you go first this time.
Okay. I gave it a 5 out of 10. That's not very good in my book. Yeah, 5 out of 10. I don't really have anything to say about it. It's a 5 out of 10. It's very mid.
I'm also going to give it a 5 out of 10, which, again, that sounds like middle of the road, but it's not. I would say it's a 5 out of 10 because there were a few redeeming qualities in the movie. It's not, one of the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's just not something that I'll watch again, for one thing. Or that I maybe would have watched the first time if I'd have known what it was going to be like. So yeah, 5 out of 10 for me too.
And that brings us to Final verdict.
Final verdict. Worth it or waste of time?
Waste
of
time.
Yep, waste of time for me too.
Both waste of times.
Yeah. I honestly wish we hadn't watched it and had picked a different movie to watch this week. But it is what it is. You know, they can't all be winners. I mean, even though a lot of them are, I try to pick movies, at least for me, that I'm going to think obviously are worth it and that I think he would like a lot too.
It's Greenland. I really liked the first
he
one.
rated
That was the
Greenland
first
pretty high.
disaster movie I've ever seen, and I've wanted to see every disaster movie since. So
He loves disaster movies. I like them too, honestly. So
yeah,
this one just, it didn't work. Not at all,
it
really.
didn't. That's our take. Give us yours, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.